Welcome. Take It Up with Jessica Lee. I'm here with David Donelan, who is the Senior Vice President at SkillStorm. He's in charge of a new service called the Pegasystems Practice. David, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here, Jessica.
I'm delighted to have you talk about an important part of the economy, which is the contractors that a lot of companies rely on to bridge that talent gap. And I know that this is an area you are deeply knowledgeable about, is the Pegasystems and how that helps a lot of companies. But what's interesting is the fact that you're recruiting a lot of folks from the veterans area and women in tech. Can you talk to us about this new practice and what you're doing to help not only the candidates, but the businesses?
Sure. So we refer to this as next gen or workforce development. And what we do is we actually recruit, we then train and develop, and then certify and deploy these resources across a variety, in this case, Pegasystems clients and partners. And the candidates may have between 0 and 5 years IT experience before they join SkillStorm and go through our rigorous training and certification process. And then we recruit from veterans as well as women in tech. One of the things we want to do is increase the number of women and minority software engineers and application developers. So that's one target for us. And then literally 50% of the resources we bring on board are veterans with some level of security clearance, given the number of positions and need in the US federal government and Canadian governments.
Now, Pegasystems is technology that enables transformation, like the customer experience and all of the data that is required to provide that superior CX. Can you talk to us a little bit about how that's helping the clients and then the talent pool that's so important to carry on that transformation?
Sure. Yeah, as you said, Pegasystems, they oftentimes call Pega, is at the forefront of the digital transformation. And they really help clients both with their customer experience, kind of the front end, the interaction with the clients, as well as their back office digital process automation operations to make it more efficient. So what we're doing at SkillStorm is providing the training and certification for these Pega resources to deploy them at all these Pega clients across North America.
So when they join, they may be very young or they don't have the technical skills yet, and you're investing in them to train them, and then you place them at the clients. My understanding is that they could be placed anywhere, and that is the exciting part, right? Where they could go anywhere. And then after 18 months, they can be converted to an employee. Is that right?
That is correct. Yeah, we put them through a very rigorous training and certification process. Usually, depending on their skill sets and experience, it goes anywhere from 6 to 14 weeks. And when they come out of that, they have the equivalent of 18 months worth of programming development and, in this case, Pega certification. And then when they join, they sign a contract with SkillStorm to be an employee for 2 years. And then they can be placed, and a lot of these younger resources are really excited because they can be placed anywhere in North America, working for some of the, the brand names in industry and some of the government agencies.
After 18 months, they can stay with the clients then, yes?
Yeah, after 18 months, they can convert at any time, but after 18 months, they can convert to a full-time employee, the firm or the client at no charge. Or if the client is done with their project and that particular resource, they can flip them back to SkillStorm and we'll redeploy that resource on another client's project. And
well, given
have that extra experience that they developed over those several months.
Given the current uncertainty because of the coronavirus, a lot of businesses are hesitating to spend. And I'm wondering, is this actually a good opportunity for SkillStorms then to provide that talent pool of contractors?
Yeah, it's a very good opportunity. With the virus and the economic uncertainty associated with the virus, a lot of companies are reluctant to hire, to full-time employees right now. They may have lots of positions open, but they want to take a wait and see attitude. So in the meantime, they can contract with SkillStorm for these resources, bring them on board, start in on their projects, and then once the markets settle down, the economy stabilizes, then they can convert them to full-time employees if they choose. So it lowers their risk as well as their cost in bringing these valuable resources on board.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if you're seeing an impact on actually where you can place these resources, because some countries have closed the borders, and some states are saying we just want everyone to be sheltering in place. So is that affecting your ability to place the candidates?
It's having some effect, but we're getting around it because a lot of this work can be done remotely. So just for example, this morning, I was talking with a resource in Canada who is looking for some PEGA certified resources. And obviously the border currently is closed between Canada and the US. But the thought is that they can start working remotely. And then once the border is lifted, once the virus has had its course, we can place them physically in Canada. But in the meantime, they're getting up to speed. They're starting to help on projects for this particular client.
Yes, I think that given this situation, people who are not as impacted would be like software developers who can work anywhere as long as
That's
they have
right.
good internet connection, right?
Yeah, they're used to that remote connection. Even our training classes, most of those were face-to-face. We've started to convert those to virtual where it makes sense.
So that's where your background is. That when you were at PEGA Systems, you were in charge of putting a program in place to get partners certified and recruiting those partners, right?
That's right. I had a variety of roles during my 10-year career at PEGA, from VP of marketing to head of sales enablement to kind of one of my last roles was recruiting both authorized training partners and these workforce development partners like SkillStorm. Just so they're so valuable to building up the PEGA ecosystem with certified resources.
So what's exciting ahead for you? I know you joined recently. This is a much smaller company, from big company to small company. How has it been for you?
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, throughout my career, I've been at small companies, mid-sized companies, very large companies. And it's great to be back at a small company where you can have a huge difference. And it's exciting to work with these younger people and veterans. We like to say in the veterans case, we're helping to serve the people that have been serving us. So we're really high on those resources, and then developing, the women in technologies. There's just such a lack of both women and minorities who are application developers or software engineers. So building up those resources, in this case, in the PEGA practice, is really fulfilling for me. And that's what makes it exciting.
Yes, I think that's the wonderful thing you're doing, bringing opportunities, tech jobs to those resources. And I'm wondering about women in particular, and that there's a lot of discussions around pay equality. Is there any kind of program in place to make sure that women and men are equally given the opportunities and the equal pay?
Absolutely. From a SkillStorm standpoint, we contract out our resources regardless of race or gender at the same price. It's based on their skill set. And we have some remarkable women software development application developers on our bench right now that we're in the midst of placing. They're just really impressive young, in this case, young people that have some skills in tech, but they need to refine those skills and get them, in this case, to be PEGA certified. There's an interesting stat in 2018, and one of the reasons SkillStorm is in existence is to close the gap between what employers need and what is coming out of most universities. So in 2018, over 100,000 IT-related positions went unfulfilled in the US. And a little over 65,000 CIS or computer information system grads couldn't find a role. that mismatch. So we're trying to close that gap between the people coming out of college, have some background, and then putting them in place in, some, in this case, Pegasystems clients.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's a noble cause. So I applaud you on that. I applaud you on that. So thank you so much for being on the show and share with us the mission that SkillStorm has and how you're contributing to women, to the veterans, and also businesses in general, David.
Well, thank you, Jessica. It's been a pleasure, and I encourage everybody to go out to our website at www.skillstorm.com.
There you have it. Take it up with Jessica Lee, David Donelan from SkillStorm.